around the edge, and the boken, the bottom of the boken is actually cupped into the palm. And that's how you want to hold it. The second hand, the right hand, is going to be about a fifth distance apart. And it's going to, again, you're going to grip with the small fingers, and you should see a little V at the very top of your hand. So that's basically how you would hold a boken. Different arts do it different ways. In our case, we hold the grip rather loose, comparatively speaking. If you go to other schools, you will see more of a hard grip, but it's a different perspective. They are more of a battlefield art, and they need that hard grip so that when they're taking hard blows, they can protect themselves. In Aikido, we want a lighter grip to make it feel more natural in our hands. So, just to begin now, make sure, again, martial awareness. You're not going to smack anything. Make sure you're clear. You have plenty of distance around you. And what we're going to start off with is a basic strike called Shomichi. So you're going to come up. And how you do this is you're going to strike up. And I usually prefer to do it like a crank. So you're going to crank it up, and then you're going to come down. So what it is that your left hand's actually doing all the work. Your right hand is actually a pivot point. So when you strike with it, with the pushing up with the left hand, and as you push up, you're also going to open your hips. Then as you close, your hips are going to close, and you're going to strike down. So for starters, let's just practice a little bit of showman cuts. And the important thing with this is you're not going to think about power. You want to think about smooth. You also want to avoid bad habits. Bad habits, what I'm saying is that you don't want the boken to fall below the belt line. So what I mean by that is that as you tell them, everybody's different in terms of the arts, but this is pretty universal. You don't want to fall below and point to the floor. You want to cut, extend out, and that boken is flat. And in my case, the way I was taught, it's flat to your belt. So it should be perpendicular to your belt, I guess. The other thing is what you want to do is to make sure that, sorry, I've got a distraction. Sorry, cat. Next thing you always want to do is when you're launching, you're going to launch off the back foot. So it's never and drag with the front, or step with the front foot and then drag with the back foot. You're going to launch off that back foot. So always remember that when you're doing this, you're going to be launching off that back foot. So let's just see y'all do it for a little bit, and then I'll move on to the next thing. Oh, she pinned me. Good, good. And yeah, I mean, like I said before, this is more about skill than it is about power. So when you do train and you're doing even the basic shoulder cuts, you don't have to be powerful with it. You don't have to strike hard. For those of us who can make that wonderful whoosh noise, it's not because we're trying to power through the movement. Our technique is in such sync that we're able to generate all that power with our whole body. A lot of people who try to just generate power do so only with their arms and end up backfiring on them. So the next movement that we're going to talk about, even though it's mostly, I mean, honestly, In terms of the more complex strikes, it's going to be Shomanuchi or it's going to be Yokomanuchi. There is a ski, but I'll usually use a ski for a combination because ski is really just driving forward. You don't need to use your arms for ski. So what we're going to do next is Yokomanuchi. So start right behind me, come up, and come around. So what we're trying to do here is you're going to come up and block, and as the strike comes down, you're going to deflect that, and you're going to step forward, and you're going to come around and cut. And that's what you're trying to do, is basically step around. And what's happening here is as you're coming up and you're walking around your boken, you're going to let your hips cut around. And as you can see here, yes, you're going to see here that what I'm doing is using my hips to generate the power to complete the cut. Now, for the sake of imagery, you have to imagine the cut going down the hakama. The gi. You have to imagine it going down the gi. Much like if you're doing a shoman, you're planning on cutting straight down through the middle of the person's body. So that's what you want to do. Is you want to see that V cut. So what we're doing here is coming up, you're going to step around, you're going to cut, you're going to back up a little bit, come around and cut. Now, right on me is a much easier way to start off because you're going to be blocking and cutting down. Now, contrary to a Joe, where most of the time we switch our hands, you're always right hand forward with a boken. So you're here, you still want to see in front of you while you have the boken above your head to protect yourself. You're still going to step through, and you're still going to cut. So let's rotate now. Here. And you should again feel that as you're going through this, you should be in sync with your lower body and your upper body. So you should be able to step through, and when you finish your cut, you should be finishing your step. So and like I said before, with the Shomanuchi, you're going to finish flat. You don't want to finish there. And the reason why you don't want to finish down is that as you're cutting, if you finish flat, as you can see here, I just have to raise my arms up and back into a good block. If I cut all the way down, I have to raise my arms up all the way, much further distance. That distance is always an extra amount of time. So when you're in this type of situation, timing and distance are obviously one and the same. They're also critical. Technically in battle, it would be critical to life or death. So then let's just keep crisscrossing. And I'll just watch y'all practice a little bit more. That's very good. And so make sure that whenever you go up and block, you are trying to protect yourself. So you want to have this all the way above your head. A problem that I see with most individuals is that they'll stop here. And it'll be in front of their head. Or it'll be a little bit too low. Well, swing came down straight, you're going to get hit. So make sure that's all the way above your head. before you strike. And again, one can be a challenge where you want to still be able to see forward and strike down. And this is Tommy. So, cut up, strike down. All right? So, the next thing we can do is, now that we know how to do Shomen and Yokomanuchi, Shomenuchi and Yokomanuchi, we can kind of bring in some combinations, which is basically how you would do, you know, simple katas, tsuburis, and so forth. So, and it also helps with your flow. So, in this case, we can do, actually, let's do Shomenuchi ski. So, you're going to Shomenuchi, and then you're going to follow through with the ski. As you can see here, I'm just following through the ski. That's why skis are really just you moving your body. This is a 3-foot razor blade, so you don't have to worry about that. So you can follow through with a basic ski. And if you wanted to get fancy, you can cut Shomen, cut Shomen, cut Shomen, cut Shomen. So you can go back and forth between the two. And actually, let's do that. So you're going to cut Shomen, you're going to change your feet, you're going to cut Shomen, so cut Shomen, rotate, cut Shomen, rotate, cut Shomen. So keep doing that. It's good. It's good. So in terms of making sure on the footwork, without striking, the footwork is really just a slidering, and then you're switching feet, slidering. You can see here, my feet don't change their positions. There's no stepping or you're just sliding forward and then turning your hips. And then now we're just adding the Shomenuchi ski. So let's see the second round of keep going, keep going. Good. So now to change it up again with the ski, we're gonna do a Shomenuchi, and then you're gonna step with the ski. So what we're doing here is Shomenuchi and the ski, and this time instead of it cutting up, and you're going into the throat, this time you're sorry, you're now doing the showman, and then you're stepping forward and finishing the ski with that way. There's a couple of nuances that are different though. So in the last one, we're coming up and the blade is facing down. On this one, you're going to cut and you're going to slide, or you're going to step forward. And as you can see, I'm rotating the blade to be flat. And the premise behind that is you're sliding it, you're laying it flat to slip the blade between the rib cages. So that's what we're trying to do, we're trying to accomplish. So here. And again, control is a vital aspect of this. So you're going to, again, here, you don't want the blade to jump down and jump back up. So you don't want this. You want to make sure that you have enough control so that when you finish your cut, you can immediately go into the ski. So here. Right, so you're gonna cut, ski. So let's see, I'll try it real quick. It's good. So I guess one of the questions that does come up, as in why do we do weapons? And I always tell people that when I teach a class, I teach the class so that it's Aikido, it's weapons application for Aikido. So we do it to practice our movement, we do it to practice our posture, our my eye. And so I'll at least show the difference between or what we're doing with the weapons and how it's applicable to an open-handed situation. So as you can see here, I'm doing the Shomichi ski, and it's coming up, right? You can do the same thing here. If you notice, if you're going in, an attacker comes after you with a showman, you strike up to block the showman, and then you would, you could actually come in, cut down with them, and then fall over, and you would cut down with them, and then you could finish with the kokinage. So this would mimic this. The easier one to kind of get an analogy on would be for the step throughs, because you would come in here and then step around the person's body. So it's probably more of a visual for that one, because you can cut and you can step, Ryunage, Kotegaishi, Shionage, and that's how you can kind of apply this to open hand. So just to give you all the visual. Now, let's try to do a combination with the Yokomichi. So for here, we Shomichi, block, Yokomichi. And so we'll just start off with this little set here. So we're going to Shomichi, block, Yokomichi. Now in terms of the footwork, I'm starting off right Hamni. Honestly, you're going to be starting off right Hamni almost every time on the Boken. And you're going to come in and do your showman. You're going to realize you missed. You're going to come up with block. And then you're going to walk around it as the blade is, you're getting hit with another blade. You're going to walk around. And I hate to say block, it's really deflection. But you're going to come up, it's going to deflect. You're going to walk around it, and you're going to finish your strike. So, again, here, sorry, my bad. Showman, block, and then step through with the yoke knee. And I need to say it better. So, showman, deflect, and then step through and finish with the yoke knee. So, showman, deflect. Showman, deflect, yoke knee. On the other side, showman, deflect, yoke knee. Showman, deflect, yoke knee. Showman, deflect, yoke knee. So let's see y'all do it for a second. Good, good. One of the things that's really difficult to do, one of the bigger challenges when you are practicing with weapons, is to kind of, you start letting things go. What I mean by that is that when you start doing your pulse for your showmans, you start doing this, and your arms and your shoulders get tired. You have to always be very conscious of aware of what you're doing. So when you're doing your showmans, cut up as high as you can. And always imagine cutting up as high as you can. It helps prevent you from getting too lazy with your movement. So when I'm coming up, I'm always coming up as high above my head as possible. Because I know when I get tired, it's exactly still going to be above my head. A lot of people, when they're trying to pick it up with their arms, they're doing this, and over time, you start seeing the Boken or even the Joe just go slightly lower and lower, and then you're realizing, oh, they're not really striking at all. So you want to make sure that you go above the head, strike, go above the head. You want to get as high above the head as possible, and then strike. So, and it's even more important to be cognitive of that as you get tired. Ways to kind of help prevent that is when you're striking, use your whole body. Use your extension. So when you see me do this, you don't see me move my elbows too much. It's almost always extended. So you're using more, and we know this better, but you're using less of your arms and you're using more of your hips. That's driving it. And so remember that. The other thing is when you're doing your yoga movement, if you haven't noticed, and it's one of those things that I do try to point out when I teach classes, is you might see a slight bend in my arms when I'm walking. I'm still trying to get as high above my head as possible. But the other thing you should notice is that my elbows are down. I always try to keep my elbows down when I train. Why is that? Because when you do this, your elbows up, this is now exposed. And you don't want that. So when you do your deflections, you do want to make sure that you're deflecting with the elbows down. So that way you have less exposure. As you can see, this versus this. And then it also helps with your yokeman strikes. So try this a little bit more. So you're going to showman, deflect, yokeman. Again, showman, deflect, yokeman. The nice thing with this one is that a lot of Saburi that I've seen and Kata that I've seen start off with this exact combination, or that combination somewhere in there. So it's always good to practice this little two-step process. So anyway, let's try it. Let's see you do it again real quick. Good. Good. And again, the emphasis with this is if we're practicing with open-handed, it would be more of a strike down. So you would strike down, gather the palms, come back, and then Shomanuchi probably being the most easy one to kind of picture. But that's where you can kind of get the idea of this from is you're coming in, you're gathering that arm in, you're bringing it back, and you're going to come up underneath that arm. And I know we didn't complete with this movement, but it is basically that. So anyway, so the next movement would probably be a ski yokominuchi. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and ski, bring up on the left side, and then do yokominuchi this way. So what I'm doing this time around is we're going to go ahead and do a step ski. So you're going to step. You're going to come in for a block, for the deflection. Again, hands above your head. With the cat. And then, sorry. So let me start all over again. My apologies. So you're going to step ski. You're going to deflect. You're going to finish with the yokominuchi. Again, step ski, deflect, finish with the yokominuchi. So. Again, you're going to start right on knee first. You're going to step to your foot. So you're going to step to your left foot forward, and then you're going to deflect. Left foot stays forward, and then you're going to finish with the yokominuchi, and you're going to finish with your right foot. So again, ski, left foot forward, deflect, left foot still forward, yokominuchi, right foot forward. So try that again. We're going to ski, left foot forward, deflect, left foot forward, yokominuchi, right foot forward. And if you have the room, you can actually walk across the room doing this whole combination. So we're going to ski, left foot forward, deflect, left foot forward, yokominuchi, right foot forward. One of the niceties with this one is that when you're skiing, when you do your ski and you do your block, you'll notice that the ski is flat, blade towards your inside. When you block, it should help with the rotation. The blade should be facing to the outside. And then yokominuchi. And by that time, the blade should be down. So let's just keep doing this for a little bit. So you're going to ski, deflect, yokominuchi. Ski, deflect, yokominuchi. Ski, left foot forward, deflect, left foot forward, yokominuchi, right foot forward. Also, ski, blade is flat to the inside, deflect, blade is flat to the outside, yokominuchi. So just watch you guys for a second. So again, real quick, you're going to step forward on the ski. You're going to come up with the deflection, and then you're going to yoke them in. And you finish with your right foot. So right foot forward, left foot forward, left foot forward, right foot forward. So let's just all do that together for a little bit. So again, we're going to ski, left foot forward, deflect, left foot forward, yokomanishi, right foot forward. So ski, left foot forward, deflect, left foot forward, yokomanishi, right foot forward. So ski, left foot forward, deflect, left foot forward, yokomanishi, right foot forward. Ski, left foot forward, deflect, left foot forward, yokomanishi, right foot forward. So let's watch y'all for a second there, and then we'll move on to the next one. Good. Nice, easy pace. So now we're going to go ahead and just do something a little bit simpler again. Actually, yeah, we'll go ahead and do something that's more Tai-Sabaki than anything else, and that is Arimi Tenkan. So, what with the Boken? So as you all know, Arimi Tenkan is your stepping and then going back with your energy always forward, right? So we're going to go step, Tenkan, Arimi Tenkan. So Arimi Tenkan. Arimi. With Boken in hand, you're going to go Arimi Tenkan. Arimi Tenkan. Arimi Tenkan. And hopefully this will help you identify if you have that nasty wobbling habit. That some of us might still do at times. But what you're trying to do is I usually start this off with the ski, as a step forward, and then as I finish, I'm going to rotate up and step back and cut. And again, reading, step forward. As I'm turning, I'm rotating my hips. I'm facing the other way. And then as I am stepping back with the left foot, in this case, I'm going to finish my cut with my shoulder. So you're going to, again, just like a ring. All right. You ring, same time. Ring, Tenkan. Ring. Tenkan. Ring. Tenkan. Ring. Tenkan. And as a reminder, when you're doing your ringing, when you're getting ready for your Shomen cut, make sure that this is above your head. The other thing is that you should not feel like you're going backwards. So you always want to feel like you're going forward in Aikido. You always want to feel like your energy is going forward in Aikido. So you should always feel like your energy is going forward, even though you're physically going backwards. I know it might sound like an odd concept, but that's how you have to feel it. Your energy is always going forward. You don't want to feel like you're going backwards. You don't want to feel like you're going to collapse down. So, again, forward, hang on. Forward, hang on. Forward, hang on. And it's fine if you're still methodical. You don't need to be fast with this. As a matter of fact, because, again, if you're indoors, you definitely don't want to be fast with this. In my case, I've got a garage door opener that's right over here. You've got walls. So if you have barriers, always be aware of what your surroundings are. So.
Sensei Robert, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
On your strikes, your Shomen strikes, are they to the side of your head, or are you actually coming straight up and down?
Yeah, I am going straight up and down. So I'll do it from this angle here. So here, here.
I see.
Here.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, you're going to strike above the head, cut down, strike above the head, cut down, strike above the head, down, strike above the head, cut down. In terms of how this is useful for open hands, I hope it's obvious in some cases. It may not be as obvious for others, but this is essentially Yonage. But in our case, it's also vital for several of the movements that we do, including things like Yonage. Because you're going to do the same type of movement. You're going to step forward, cut up, cut down, you're going to bring them in, and you're going to throw them, right? And that's why we do this stuff. So let's just practice this one for a hair bit longer, and then I'll move on to the next movement. So again, ski, Shomen, so ringy tenkan, so ringy, tenkan, ringy, tenkan, ringy, tenkan, ringy, tenkan, ringy, tenkan, ringy, tenkan. So just want to watch you do one more little bit of it, and then we'll move on to the next movement. Good, good. And how are we on time?
Go until 8, you got a half an hour.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
So let's see. There's a couple other exercises. I don't know if I guess I have enough room in here. Make sure you have enough room in the ceiling. So there is another exercise that I like to do. It's from Wakigumai because I always get fascinated with this. We don't practice it enough, and yet it's probably one of the most powerful start, like I guess, beginning sets that you could ever go into. Anyway, Wakigumai is a very aggressive stance, and I'll show you on different angles on this one. So as you raise up, you're going to come down, and you're going to hold this. And the way I normally do it is I'll breathe in, breathe out as the boken is down. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to hide the boken. So as you can see here, I'm facing you, and you should not be able to see much of what I have. So you have no idea how long my boken really is. And it's also gives you the advantage of being able to give yourself more, at least of a 180-degree view, and as much as possible trying to get close to a 360-degree view. So as I do this exercise, I do 4 different strikes in 4 different directions. And so the first one is just a simple shomage, and they're all basically shomage, but and again, what you're trying to do is cut down the middle. So here. So you're gonna breathe in, exhale out, and then cut. And it's best to do this as slow and methodical as possible. You don't want to go too fast with these. This is one where you want to purposely do it slowly because you're trying to get that control. You're trying to get your breathing in sync. You want everything in these in sync as possible. So I'm breathing in, I'm exhaling out. And then as I'm about to do my strike, I'll breathe in, and then I'll exhale out for the strike. So now, one of the little things that I do that's a bit different than a lot of other instructors is when I'm doing this, you'll see me having a tendency to put my palm out and putting pressure on this. Traditionally, most instructors will teach it like this, so this is probably just a bad habit that I do. I actually do it in case you have that person that wants to come in and stab you. You automatically have your palm on the back of the boken and ready to protect yourself if need be. So that's why I do it. Most people will have the firm grip on both sides. So I do this, and then as I'm doing my movements, I'll grip it at the top. So basically, short answer, probably do it the way most other instructors do it. But if you see me do it this way, that's why I do it. And that's how I'm doing that. So again, you do it this way. Go. So breathe in, bring it up, and again, don't get lazy. You want to have this as high above your head as possible. Sink down, and then strike. Again, on this side, breathe in, sink down, strike. So let's see, I'll do that for a second, and then I'll move on to the next part. That's good. That's good. So on the next part here, and just so you know, if you feel like you got the hang of things after me showing like a couple times, just start in and start practicing with me. I apologize, but it's hard to see a couple of y'all, so I can't tell if you're actually just watching or waiting for me to give y'all a turn. Feel free to practice in when you feel comfortable with movements. Don't let me like explain everything through. I'm trying to coach as best I can on this. So the next movement here, you're breathing in, you're exhaling out, breathing in, you're cutting, and then you're breathe in, exhale out, and then this time you're going to switch. You're going to go to your left, and then as you breathe in, bring it down, and in this case we'll just go 1, 2. So you're going to bring this up, Shomanuchi to the front of you, and then Shomanuchi to the left of you. So you're going to rotate your body around 90 degrees. So you're going to Shomanuchi in front, Shomanuchi to the left. So you see somebody coming next towards your left, so instead of you going to the front of you, you're going to rotate around and go to the left. So here. But to get the rhythm, to get into that rhythm, I want you to do Shomanuchi in front, Shomanuchi to the left. And then Shomanuchi to the front, Shomanuchi to the left. And right from this angle, so Shomanuchi to the front, Shomanuchi to the left, Shomanuchi to the front. Inhale, exhale, rotate the hips, Shomanuchi to the left. And as you can see here, I was too close to the wall, so again, mind your space. So just keep going for a little bit more. So you're gonna inhale, exhale as you step back in the walkie line. Shomanuchi to your front. Shomanuchi to your left, and as you can see here, I'm almost 90 degrees from where I started. And then start back over here. So forward. To the left. So let me watch y'all for a second. Good, good. Good, good. Good. So on our next step, we're showing it to the front. Showing it to your left. Showing it to your right. Now that one's a little bit trickier because you're doing more of a low guess J step, as something like to call it. So you're going to get you to the front. Showing it to your left. And then when you do your shoulder to the right, you're going to raise this up and reset yourself, reset your ha knee to the right, and then you're gonna cut with the right foot forward. So on the last one, face forward. You're going to here, and then it's going to here. And then as you cycle back in, you're going back to autonomy forward. So on the last one, you're going to kind of slide your foot over, you slide it back. So on this one, you're going to slide that right foot forward. And then as you retract that, you're going to go right back to where you started. So as you can tell, again, 90 degrees. So again, from the beginning, you're going to cut forward, breathe in, exhale out, breathe in, go to your left, breathe in, exhale out, go to the right, breathe in, exhale out, go forward again, breathe in, exhale out, go to the left, breathe in, exhale out, go to your right. And always remember again, as you get tired, your tendencies are to let your arms drop. So you're going to want to, see how high above my head this is? You want to bring this above your head. So you want to cut as high above your head as possible. Then as you lower, you're going to drop. And then you're going to bring it up. You're going to cut. And again, as you can see, I'm bringing it well above my head. Again, bring this back. Bring it above your head. And then as I cut again, it's going to go well above my head. And even on the right one, I'm trying to bring this as high above my head as possible. So I'm bringing this up because a lot of times when you're holding a weapon in your hand, it kind of amplifies your movements. So, or it amplifies your errors. And so what you're trying to do is basically, it's going to show where you might be making mistakes, where you might be getting a little lazy with things. So in this case, especially again, as you get tired, this becomes more convenient for you, but that's not what you want to do. You want to bring this as high above your head as possible and let that drop. And then you bring it forward, right? So in this case, so you want it above your head every time. Just try to get in the practice of doing that. Here. To the left. To the right. Oh, sorry. Forward. Left. Right. So for the last one, we're going to go ahead and do the the last part. So I want to go ahead now. It's going to be a little more difficult. Actually, let me do it while I'm facing you first, and then I'll have to do the last one facing behind you. And you'll see why in a second. So it's 4, right? To your left. To your right. And back. So I'll show you the last one real quick. So we're here. You're inhaling like you normally do. Except this time, you're going to thrust forward, raise the boken above your head, do a slight aiming forward, and then again, methodically. So again, for this last one, you're going to shift your body around, and as against a little ski, and then I'm going to cut up, and I'm going to cut down and aiming forward a little bit, and then I'm going to come back. Sorry. I'm going to come back, rotate around, and then let it drop. First time I have to explain this, my apologies. So on the last one here, we're going to inhale in, turn around, cut, and then reset. So to go through the whole sequence, we're going to inhale in, first strike forward, inhale in, exhale out, inhale in, strike to your left, inhale in, exhale out, inhale in, strike to your right, inhale in, exhale out, inhale in, rotate your feet, strike, so hand above the head, strike, and then so let's just do this for a few times. So again, up. Inhale in, drop it down, showman. Inhale in, drop it down, showman. Inhale in, drop it down, showman. Inhale in, drop it down, inhale in again. Rotate your hips, showman. So let's see you do it. Actually, let me do it one more time for everyone, with everyone, if you want to. Just so you can kind of get in the rhythm, and then I'll watch it all for a few. So, showman to your front. Showman to your left. Showman to your right. Showman behind. All right, let's see you all do it a couple times. Hopefully your arms aren't getting too tired. Sorry, I'm teaching the class, but I'm kidding. Good. Good. So this is actually a good drill to do on your own. I mean, so just check something real quick. Yeah, so I don't know. Does anybody have any questions? Since we're
Yes.
about, okay.
The last one that you did,
Mm-hmm.
can I see how you did that again? After you strike to the back, how did you reset?
Okay. Let's see here. So on the last one, I'm turning the hips, cutting, and then I'm basically turning my hips back again, and then resetting back down again. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions? Evie, do you have any questions? No. So did you have any questions at all, or?
No.
Okay. Okay. All right, good. I think we have about 10 minutes left, right? Do y'all want to keep going for a little bit more, or? Because I got to do this almost all night, to be honest with you.
Sensei, can I be excused, please?
Oh, yes, yes, you can. You can. Thank you for
Thank
coming,
you.
Watu. Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you very much.
So I guess since it's just the three of us, Anna's got the luxury of being able to train inside and outside with both Aboken and Joe. If you have the room, Evie, to be able to practice with the Joe in the house, that's great. But if you can't, this Aboken works perfectly fine. And honestly, yes, it's much shorter, but that also means you're less likely to do damage to the house. So what I mean by that is you can do some training where instead of holding the Aboken like so, you can hold the Aboken where it would mimic a third of the Joe. So, and if your Aboken is nice and straight like mine is and it doesn't have a Suba, then this is what you would want to use. If not, I mean, I was going to recommend to anybody get a broomstick or something of that sort, saw it to 40 inches, and you'll get the same effect. So with that said, you can do practicing. You have to practice indoors with a Joe. You can see how much shorter it is, the Aboken gets, if you're just trying to mimic Joe movement. So this is something I probably will train in the future, because I know not everybody has the ability to practice Joe work outdoors. So always keep that into consideration if you do want to train indoors, or if you have to train indoors, such as today where the weather was kind of iffy. There's always those options for you, because I can guarantee almost anybody that pulling a Joe inside the house is probably one of the worst ideas ever, unless you have tons of room in your house. I don't. So, but yeah, anything. If you don't feel comfortable using your Aboken to like a Joe, then just find a stick that's about 40 inches long, or cut it to 40 inches. And in your case, have somebody cut it to 40 inches, and it'll do just the same thing. Anyway, that's pretty much all I had tonight. I kind of was just trying to get a feel for doing Zoom. So how did you like it? Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. That's good. So anyway, I'll be teaching Tuesdays going forward, and hopefully, I'll be able to build out the class again. Anyway, that said, I mean, are y'all okay with me finishing a little early, or?
That's fine.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Anna, for hosting. And then I guess if you want to, we can stay online for a little while longer and try to discuss, I guess, technical things.
Yeah.
That works.
So Edie, sorry that we got started a second late. We're working out some, working out how this is all going, but we're entering the new terrain and
Yeah.
it's going good. But I'm so proud of you for doing class. Good job.
Yeah.
All right, and I will see you Thursday at one of the classes then.
Yeah.
All right,
And,
sounds good.
And as we get more acclimated to this, I am probably going to say, hey, if you want to, feel free to ask questions during class, because honestly, it does feel really weird that I'm teaching, and I know I feel like I'm coaching, but you know, I prefer that kind of interaction as long as you're not letting like background noise get in the way and being distracting.
Yeah.
By the way, if you all were curious, the little cat that's floating around, he is technically the outdoor cat that adopted me about a year ago. His name is Tommy. So he has got a food bowl in here, which is what he kept going back and forth on. So
I thought
anyway.
that was Tommy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Robert. Well done.
Thanks. And let me go ahead and finish off class properly. Again, if you finish class starting with a weapon, you should always finish the class with a weapon. And just to reiterate, the blade is always facing up and it's to your left. So with that said, I'm going to do my makeshift Takanoma with a sensei. Okay, anyway, thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
And I'd say go home, but unfortunately, we're all still home. Anyway, thank you very much, Evie.
All right.
All right, thank you again,
Thanks,
Evie.
Edie. See you.
Bye.
Good job tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Let me see
Thank
if I can.
you.
Thank you.